welcome to That Expert Show, where you help run the show. I'm Anna Canzano. Thank you so much for joining us. When I say when you help run the show, I really mean that. Your feedback and your input into this show and the topics we're covering and the questions we ask is so valuable to me. In fact, it's why we are doing the topic today, skincare strategies, how to have your best skin. I know we've talked about some very substantive topics, but I think our skin is so important. It's the first impression that we make on the people that we meet in life. And I don't know about you, but I want to just take care of this face as best as I can for the duration of my life. And I have not done a great job of that in my years of being an adult. I am just not disciplined enough to have a good routine, and I want to learn more about the basic things that you can do today, that you can do every day, simple steps that you can take to look your best. And our guest today is the co-founder and CEO of Tracie Martyn brand. He's the skincare expert to the stars. His creations are adored by celebrities like Kate Winslet and Rihanna and Julia Roberts, who have amazing skin. Interestingly, his parents were doctors, so he has that focus on health, but he decided to pursue wellness and preventative medicine and received his degree in nutrition. And he developed the Tracie Martyn formulas. Years ago, he has invented several skincare patents. Joining us live today from Manhattan, New York is Marius Morariu. Marius, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so thrilled to be here with you all today and hopefully help you to look glowing and gorgeous for the rest of the season and enter the new year with your best skin ever.
You know, we've had so much interest in this topic from people because I've posted about it on social media prior to this interview. And so we have a lot of questions, but we'll also be taking questions from folks live. So if you are watching us live, feel free to chime in. We are monitoring the feeds, and I will ask Marius your questions about skincare. So I love that the questions that we have are from primarily women who are very cut to the chase. Everybody's busy and everybody just wants to know simple, basic things. So for example, Karina in Las Vegas would like to know, what is the must-have ingredient or treatment that you would recommend when it comes to skincare products?
It's a very, very good question. And just as a nutritionist, I don't recommend a mono diet to anybody. So I don't recommend you eat just one type of food. It's very good to have diversity. Similarly with skincare, you want to nourish your skin, and it's always like the perfect recipe includes many ingredients, but there's certainly ingredients that you can look for in your skincare to make sure that you have efficacy. So I am a huge fan, and we kind of led something that we call the pure revolution in skincare. So we believe that it's very important that we don't include petrochemicals in skincare. So the pool of ingredients that I'm fishing from, so to say, are only natural ingredients. Within the natural ingredients, you want to select things that are potent and are going to create a result so that you don't get frustrated and end up going back to like using a chemical product. One of these ingredients, for instance, is vitamin C. Now, vitamin C can oxidize very quickly, and because of that, you want to be careful that you use something that has a stabilized form of vitamin C. We have one product that is called the Amla Purifying Cleanser, for instance, and the Amla berry is like a super berry from India, and it contains a stabilized form of vitamin C. It's stabilized, naturally stabilized, and it has this incredible brightening effect, and it also protects your skin. It's a very powerful antioxidant, and it's a building block for collagen. So vitamin C, if I'm going to focus on one thing.
Interesting. Okay. And then another question that pairs with that, and I think you mentioned it, is what type of foods you should eat. Are there certain foods that you can eat that either boost or hurt your skin health?
Absolutely. I think, to to be honest with you, inner and outer beauty are one thing for me. It's you can't really do one without the other very well. So what you eat is what will show up on your skin. You have to get the right nutrients and also the right vitamins, but also there's certain things that you eat that will affect your skin, unfortunately, in a negative way. One of those things, for instance, is if you have too much sugar. Now, the sugar has a twofold negative impact on your skin. Let's say you have problems with breaking out. If you have sugar and dairy, both of them actually, dairy and sugar, raise IGF-1, which is it's insulin growth factor 1. And unfortunately, that there's a direct correlation between IGF-1 and acne. So you are actually, if you do have a tendency to break out and you cut those two things out of your diet, you may notice that your skin will become a lot clearer. Now, if you are in, you don't have issues with breakouts, sugar is still not a good thing to consume. And I'm talking about refined sugar now, primarily, because you will end up having a situation where the proteins in your skin, obviously collagen is the main one, it gets glycated. So glycation is a process of sugaring of collagen. So when you sugar your collagen, it becomes brittle and you will actually end up having wrinkles, lack of elasticity, and all the things that we're trying to avoid, even hyperpigmentation. So yeah, in terms of things that you should eat, if you're going to have something, for instance, because we all like things that are sweet. I mean, life should be sweet,
Big
right?
fan of sweet things.
Exactly. I mean, I just, the last thing I want to do is deprive anybody from fun, right?
Yes.
And if you have no fun, what's the point, right? So there's such yummy things that you can consume that are sweet, like amazing fruit that you can eat. For instance, when you eat berries, while you are having some of the fruit sugar, which on its own would actually not be a good idea for your skin, combined with all these antioxidants that are in berries, you will actually have a beneficial effect because they are anti-glycation and they are antioxidants. So all over, the effect of berries is a healthy one on your skin.
That is fascinating. But you have such items like sugar scrubs, like that, you read about those. Those are a certain product that some people sell. So is that a different case because that's actually going onto the surface of your skin?
Yeah, you're right. You got it. So basically, that's a physical exfoliation. So whether you're using like salt or sugar or some other, exfoliating substance, we use in our enzyme exfoliant, we use volcanic ash that is just very gentle and it doesn't dehydrate the skin. It's combined with other ingredients. So we don't use there's some people who use nut shells and things like that, and that's could be a little harsh. Then there's a very huge controversy that people were using microbeads and all kinds of things like that in products, and they ending up in our oceans and polluting. And we need to be very careful because we're part of this ecosystem, and everything we do with what we eat, what we consume, and our skincare, it impacts us globally as an ecosystem, and it's going to impact us back. So it's really our own karma. Whatever we put out there is going to come back to us. So being really conscious of what we do for our skin, but also for the world is very important. That's why our skincare line is eco-friendly and green.
Yeah, I know that's a big part of your philosophy, is that it's all natural. And I think the term that you used was eco-luxe, which I think is a fabulous term. We have a question from Angel in California who wants to know, what is an everyday skincare routine that you would recommend? She says for all ages, and I don't know if that's possible to have it apply for all ages because, that's pretty broad, but she says there are so many products and eye creams and spot correctors and everyday moisturizers. Do you really need to use all of those things every day?
It's a really good question. Yeah, thank you for that question. It's funny because we were so honored to be featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and It was a funny story, actually. Our friend and client, Cindy Loper, needed to give Oprah, a gift, and she didn't know what to give her. So we were like, well, how about a bag of products? So funny enough, we ended up on Oprah's show a week later 'cause she loved the products. And the whole principle of the show was that, people are using too many things. And Oprah said, like, your skin just gets confused.
Yes.
So we basically, there was like a huge basket with millions of products in there that were of all kinds. And our task was to just kind of get to cut it all down and say, okay, these are the basics that you need. And if you have any particular problem where you feel you need to add something once in a while, that's okay. But this is sort of like your ritual and your regimen that you could stick to every day. And it's pretty simple, actually. I mean, you start, obviously, you need to wash your face, I mean, especially us here in New York City, it's like, oh my goodness, you got to wash that city off at the end of the day. But no matter where you are, you might want to just feel like you're going to bed with like clean skin, right? So a cleanser is very important. Ours is called the Amla Purifying Cleanser. It's funny because it does take off makeup, even so a lot of like foaming washes, they're not really designed to do that.
Right.
But the reason I created a foaming wash, because I felt like people, and this is true actually in studies, and people don't feel like their skin is really clean unless it foams. The most important thing with foaming cleansers is that you make sure that there's no sulfate detergents in them, because they're going to dry up your skin. So start with a good foaming wash that cleans your pores thoroughly. And then after that, we multi-mask. Now, we multitask too in New York City, but multi-masking is because you usually have one or two masks that are performing two different things depending on how your skin feels, right? One of them is an exfoliator. So we have our enzyme exfoliant, and it really is like going a little deeper than the cleanser to really resurface your skin and draw out all these impurities and leave you with a brighter skin, brighter and glowing skin. And then the other mask that you may consider is, you might consider something like a hydrating, plumping, glowing mask that's more of a nourishing mask. So one is kind of like resurfacing and the other one would be more nourishing, right? Mm-hmm. Ours is called the complexion savior. After you do the masks, the most direct step afterwards would be to splash on a toner. Now you could possibly skip that step if you wanted to. I think it's a great step, and as long as you don't use a toner with alcohol, you're actually going to get that extra benefit, extra moisture and astringency of your pores, right? Mm-hmm. Ours is called the Absolute Purity Toner. Once you've done your cleansing, masking, and toning, then you can go to your moisturizers and look for moisturizers that actually are doing something for you. So use like a multitasking moisturizer. So let's say you are interested in more lifting and firming. Use a moisturizer that does that. Or if you're interested in wrinkle reduction, use a moisturizer that targets that. Or hyperpigmentation. So look for a moisturizer that has more than just one benefit and has the benefit you're looking for your particular skin type. And then you're kind of done.
So I just want to clarify, did you say to try and do a mask daily or once a week?
That's a really good question. I mean, depending on the mask, you can actually do a moisturizing, hydrating mask almost daily, whereas the enzyme exfoliant, which is our exfoliating mask, mm-hmm. you would only do like twice a week, mm-hmm. maximum 3 times a week. It would be enough for your skin.
Okay.
And then also I forgot to say about the moisturizer. There's serum that are very moisturizing. So if your skin is a little bit more oily, you might want to use a serum with hyaluronic acid. You might not want to use a cream. Even so, the creams that, for instance, we make a cream that's called the face resculpting cream. We only use very light oils like omega-3 fatty acids. So we don't use like cocoa butter or things that can clog your pores. But you have to play with that and see what type of moisturizer works for you. And it also may depend on the weather right now. So with the indoor heating in the winter, it gets really, really dry. You might consider a cream over a serum.
Oh, see, I would never even think about that. I would just use the same. You would be so disgusted by my skincare routine. It's just really funny because I don't even want to tell you the product that I use because it's just so cheap and I just buy it at a warehouse store and that's what I've used for the last million years. So I think I need to kick up my game a little bit.
I think what you're trying to tell me is that the beauty I'm looking at it right now is all
Ah,
genetic.
yes. That's specifically what I was trying to say. Yes, absolutely.
It's so funny. The thing is it's not really what I'm looking at in terms of ingredients is I want everybody to get their best possible self. It's not about like choosing to like an ideal, a beauty ideal of some sort. Everybody is their own most beautiful self. The only thing they need to do is optimize it. So in other words, it's like, what does make you feel most confident, right?
Yeah.
How do you look? When you look most confident, how do you look? You want to achieve that look. And when you have confidence, then you have such a different attitude towards everything in life.
Yeah.
And that's why I think skincare is not really skin deep. It's way more than that. It really affects every aspect of your life.
That is
So
so
putting
true.
some care into your skincare and investing into your skincare is actually impacting all your aspects of your life. And I don't really have anything against like using less expensive products. There's a lot of natural products that are not very expensive that you can buy in health food stores, and they do a good job at cleansing and moisturizing. I don't know whether they target necessarily specifically, problems or issues that you may want to see handled, right? So it's really more like optimizing your face and seeing what bothers you or what it's not even bother. What could you see better? What could you see improved? And make sure that whatever ingredients you're using are targeting that. And I think sometimes you may have to go to more high quality skincare for that. But if you don't, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with like taking money and enjoying it on other things. So yeah, I'm totally okay with like simple products.
Well, I just have my mom in mind because I grew up with the smell of oil of Olay. Like whenever I smell oil of Olay or like Pond's cold cream, that's my mom in a nutshell because that's all she ever used. And fortunately, I guess I have good genetics because she's, in her 70s and looks amazing. So something's going right for her there. You were mentioning prices. So let's talk a little bit about that. Melody wants to know, is there a really big difference in department store skincare versus the type of products that you might see sold on infomercials like QVC, or sometimes, there's a lot of other different types of venues that you would see skincare products sold. How do you pick a good skincare product? And should you just I think a lot of people just go to the department store because it looks like it's quality and it looks official and you have, people telling you there about the product.
Yes, that's a really good question. I mean, it's for me, the most important thing for me is that that I'm ethical. So when I started our skincare line, to be honest with you, I had this dilemma that there were a lot of products that I was looking at that were very effective, highly effective, like dermatological strength, right? Focusing on a lot of cosmeceuticals, one of them being vitamin C, right? Vitamin C is a cosmeceutical. It's a natural cosmeceutical. Or fruit acids, AHAs, right? Those are very reliable natural cosmeceuticals. But then when I looked at the rest of the formula, it was full of petrochemicals, right? Chemicals that are made from petroleum, and they're not natural. They don't really belong in or on your skin. Your skin is the largest organ. So I was like, oh my God, I'm very confused. Either I have to use something that's very basic that might do absolutely nothing, or I have to use these high-tech products that are full of chemicals that include like parabens and phthalates and things that if you look those things up, I had a list called Dirty Dozen, and there's a lot of bad chemicals up there that you will not want to use, and they're really scary actually. So look them up, So that's when we started creating our own line, because I was like, wait, I don't need to compromise safety versus efficacy. I actually could have both. All I have to do is use these natural cosmeceuticals in a very clean base, right? So use like organic aloe vera, use like botanical oils, use all kinds of natural antioxidants, and then infuse these natural cosmeceuticals in there to create the results. So the question, the best answer to the question, frankly, is that we all have to become a little bit of an expert. Now, I know this is the expert show, but I think that, like you mentioned before, you are all becoming experts and you are all telling us what you are looking for, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how the companies are reacting to the need of all of us, really, as consumers, right? But it's also a matter of, in order to know what you want, you need to educate yourself a little bit in that field, right? So if you're interested in eating good food, you need to learn about nutrition. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in skincare, you need to learn what your skin's needs are. Then you are in the best position to choose a product that's going to be working and give you the results, and B, not affect your health in a detrimental way.
That is, and you're helping us with that process right now in learning. We so appreciate this. Lindsay on Facebook, Lindsay Schaefer has an interesting question. She wants to know if someone were to splurge on one treatment, because we're talking, everybody has a budget that they need to stay within, but maybe you want to treat yourself to something. If you wanted to splurge on something like a Botox or a chemical peel, what should a person do? I'm going to guess that this is a hard one to answer because everybody's different and has different needs, but is there a treatment out there that is a must-do or a must-have that works for just about anybody?
This is a good one. For us, we created a whole system, right, for skincare because we saw that people had a good way of handling sort of like more like wrinkles, and wrinkles react very well to ingredients, like skincare ingredients. If you start early and you use them in a diligent way, they work really pretty well. The one thing that we thought was lacking is that everybody started to kind of look a little puffy and lose elasticity. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can relate, but it's like, and it wasn't an age thing, to be honest with you. Like, we started with these supermodels that were maybe like partying a little too hard, eating a little too much sodium and retaining too much fluid, so they would look a little puffy.
Yeah, that's totally my lifestyle, by the way. Yeah.
They would come in for something that we call the resculpting facial, right? So basically, it's a machine that works with a mild current that actually energizes the skin, which, by the way, lack of energy in the skin is one of the main reasons for skin to age, right? So the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, declines in skin, and the way to bring it back up is red LED light, which we also provide, and current. So this very mild current that we have in our machine actually is not only giving you a little exercise for your face, it kind of does a little deep puffing and it energizes your skin. So that's kind of our thing that we do, the resculpting facial with a resculptor, to kind of give you that exercise for your face and make you look as lifted and firm, as glowing as you can possibly be.
Wow, that sounds like something I've seen Kim Kardashian and her sisters do on their show. I feel like...
Yeah, it was amazing. Kim was so kind, and she actually Instagrammed about us. And the one thing is, like, the pink petals that came out of her face, that's not something that we can do with a treatment. That's her special effect, in case you ever see that story. But no, joking aside, like, she looks amazing without any makeup, and she certainly is one person that really takes care of her skin. And, there's the treatment actually is very relaxing. You can actually, this is another thing that we feel very strongly about. I don't want people to come to our spa, to the Tracie Martyn spa, and feel like there's something wrong with them, that they're sick, or that I don't want them to lose confidence. I want them to gain confidence. I want them to be celebrated. Everybody's a celebrity who comes to us, because you're not a celebrity because you're known. You're a celebrity because you celebrate yourself. And the way you celebrate yourself is by knowing that everything you have is good, but you can certainly improve on it and be even happier. And that means that you can lie down, have an amazing treatment, really relax, probably fall asleep, and get up and feel like you had a little vacation and look like you had a little vacation. So it's really a wellness thing that I recommend. I don't really have anything against some of these dermatological treatments. You just have to do your research and make sure you don't overdo them, because some of them have some pretty hardcore side effects. And again, I don't believe that it's worth it to play with your health for vanity. I believe that beauty and wellness is one thing, and for us at least. And I think if you choose that avenue, you're going to have true natural beauty and a beautiful glow, and not just sort of like that plasticky look that some people have.
So in summation, that is a difficult question to answer, because there really is no one-size-fits-all treatment that would work for just about anybody. If you wanted to splurge on yourself, it really depends on the person. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it does depend on the person. Again, like I said, I'm a little partial to our lifting treatments, but let's give something that everybody can actually enjoy. And you might want to look for something. For instance, have a treatment like an oxygen facial that has also a microdermabrasion element to it. I think that's going to exfoliate you nicely. So the skin needs to be exfoliated. The microdermabrasion does a great job for that. And then the oxygen, we usually live in under-oxygenated environments in inner city. And I feel like that's not just a beneficial treatment for your skin, but it also feels divine. Like you have this kind of cooling mist sprayed onto your face, and you really do feel like you're in heaven. So if you are in New York City, absolutely come and visit, but you can pretty much get an oxygen facial and a microdermabrasion anywhere you are.
Okay. That is so helpful. I had one last question for you, and this is just because you work with celebrities. What is it like for you to be around these people who are on movie screens and are essentially household names? I know that we mentioned that Rihanna and Julia Roberts and Kate Winslet adore your creations. What is it like to be on that level with them and to work so closely with them, usually before really big events, right?
Yes, I simply adore them. I think, most people who have reached that level in being creative and being artists, they're usually incredible people. So they have an amazing amount of social intelligence. They know how to share their gifts with a big audience. So if they know how to do that, they usually know how to connect with people in person as well. I find everybody who comes to us very warm, very generous and genuine. And, I'm really always like honored to work with them. And I'm honored to also feel like I'm part of their life and their creation. So if they come in, let's say before a movie, or they come in before like launching their album or something. I got to see Rihanna also before the Diamond Ball. So she does a lot of charity work, and she looked so beautiful for that. And they're having an impact on the world in a positive way, and whether through their music or their art or through their charities. And I feel just really humbled and honored to be part of that. So, I recently, Julia Roberts came because she just did press for a new movie that I think is out right now. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very, very excited to look into it. I think it's called Ben is Back. Kate Winslet is working on Avatar 2, I believe, and it's just I'm always very excited to see their work, and sometimes we go to premieres, which is a very special thing. It's definitely enriching your lives, and in terms of like how they are, it's like everybody that comes to us just feels like they want to be celebrated for who they are. Not necessarily for what they do, and that's what we do. So if you come to us, you actually feel no difference. between you and Rihanna, we will have our arms open no matter who you are, and hopefully you will leave feeling like uplifted and blissful and ready to start a day with a whole new set of self-confidence.
Well, I kind of feel that right now, just virtually talking with you. And I feel like we will meet someday. You're definitely on my list if we ever make that visit out to New York, and come on out to our neck of the woods as well.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to visit you. And everybody come to Tracie Martyn. TracieMartyn.com is the website, and @TracieMartyn is the handle. You can see a little bit what we do, and we're on 5th Avenue between 17th and 18th Street in New York City.
Fantastic.
Union Square area, and hope to see you all there.
Great.
Anna, you have to come in. We're gonna make you a little bit less low maintenance, just so you have a little bit more fun.
We'll give it a try. Marius, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all of the information, and we hope this information will be helpful for all the people who will watch it. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure, and have a wonderful holiday season, everybody.
Take care. All right, you guys, let me know what you thought of Marius's information. Leave a comment and give us a like or a subscribe if you got something out of this that helps other people find us. Wanted to remind you that you can always connect with us via social media. So we're live here on Facebook and on Twitter today as well. We are on Twitter and Instagram as That Expert Show. But hey, you know what? Life is busy. Sometimes it's not easy to catch things live. So if you want to come back and watch things later, you can always reference our YouTube channel, That Expert Show, or you can listen to this content wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're on Apple iTunes and Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all those. Just look for us there. And sometimes it's easy just to kind of listen to the show as you're driving around and doing your thing. Hey, wanted to remind you as well, that the best way to connect with us is to take out your phone and send a message to us. So you just text one word, the word show, SHOW, to the number 474747. That way you become an Expert Show insider. You always get first word on who we're interviewing, and gives you a chance to give us direct feedback about the show. We've got a website as well where you can go back and watch the videos, thatexpertshow.com. I am really curious to see what you think about the information that Marius had to share. I think he was so well versed in his field, and I love that. That's really the whole point of the show, is to find people who really know their stuff. They've made it their life mission to become experts in what they do, and we're bringing that information to you and incorporating your questions as well. All right, I guess that's about it for this episode of the show. Before we go, we do want to mention our sponsor, Shoe Mill, which is this incredible family business that is here in Oregon with stores, but also online at shoemill.com. I am wearing their Uggs today. I tell you, they are the best. There's so many different varieties of shoes. They have the best shoes and the best service. And if you want to, check out the show notes for our show, and I'll tell you how to get a special deal courtesy of That Expert Show at Shoe Mill. Thanks for joining us, you guys. Thanks for being part of this journey. Hope that you'll continue to be with us. Until next time on That Expert Show, where you help run the show.